Guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to revisit my 2024 reading goals and see how I did for the year. I think I did okay. All right, but we're going to see. I had 8 different goals. The first one was to read 80 books. That was my Goodreads goal for the year, and I definitely did do that barely. Barely. We kind of got towards the last couple weeks of the year and I was like, oh, I need to finish some books up. And I was in the middle of a couple of them. All I had to do was just finish them up. And then I was like, good to go. But yeah, barely. But I did meet that. Okay. Goal number 2 was read my Mina Lima Harry Potter books. So those are the editions that are kind of interactive. I wanted to reread Harry Potter and I wanted to go with those and have that experience reading those editions. There are only the first 3 books are in those editions, and that's all that's going to be. It was announced that publisher is not moving forward with those editions of the books, which makes me very sad because I wanted all of them. My Harry Potter book collector died a little bit on the inside when that was announced. I was like, oh man, but I do have the 3. I can still read them, but that definitely took the wind out of my sails for this goal. I kind of went, oh, well, there's no point at this point because I was going to try to read those 3 and then be ready for number 4. And now there's not really any point because there's not going to be a number 4. So, yeah, but that's it. So I just kind of let that one go. Okay. So goal number 3 was to read my most anticipated releases. I just did a video about my thoughts on my most anticipated releases for 2024, so I'll leave that link down below if you haven't seen it yet. But I did read 11 of them out of 28. Not great, not even half. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be something that's more of a priority for me next year. Definitely reading my most anticipated releases. Yeah, so it was interesting. And then this year was also, I had a couple that were not enjoyable or I DNF'd. So there is that too, but all those details are in that other video. Okay, goal number 4, read some of my favorite authors to 0. I did do this. I'm not sure how many, so let me flip to my page and see. Okay, authors that I did read fully to 0. So I read everything that I needed to read from their backlist. Or if I had already read everything, then I needed to read their new release this year. I counted that as well. Alex Michaelides, I read The Fury. Stacey Willingham, I read Only If You're Lucky. Those were both their new releases this year. So I read those and got those authors read to 0. ML Rio, I read If We Were Villains. I read Graveyard Shift, which was her novella release this year. And then I also read Weekend at Birdie's, which was a short story as part of a Halloween collection. But I did read that one too. TJ Newman, I read Falling and Worst Case Scenario. Abby Jimenez, I read 4 of her books, guys. I read The Happy Ever After Playlist, Life's Too Short, Just for the Summer, and Worst Wingman Ever, which is a short story part of a short story collection. S.A. Cosby, I read Blacktop Wasteland and All the Sinners Bleed. Sarah J. Maas, I caught up on her. I read House of Flame and Shadow and Catwoman, Soul Stealer. Catwoman is part of the DC Icons series. Taylor Jenkins Reid, After I Do and Forever Interrupted were both read this year. Ashley Winstead, Fool Me Once and The Boyfriend Candidate, which is a romance duology. And PJ Vernon, I read When You Find Me, which is the only one of his I needed to read. He only has 2 releases out, but I loved the first one of his that I read. So that's 10 authors that I read to 0. I consider them favorites for sure. These are authors that I will pick up their new releases without even thinking twice about it. I'll pre-order their stuff. And I really enjoyed reading some of them. Now, a couple of authors are on here as well where I didn't read absolutely everything. I got close, and then some of them I just didn't get close, but I did read something of theirs. If I read anything by an author where I want to read their backlist, I included them on this list, but I didn't get to all of them, but I did get to 10. I think that's pretty good. All right. Goal number 5 was read 10 nonfiction books. I did not do that. I ended up reading 5. Those books were The Coddling of the American Mind by Greg Lukianoff and Jonathan Haidt. I read The Radium Girls by Kate Moore. I read Mama Cusses by Gwenna Lathland. I read Fall and Rise, The Story of 9/11 by Mitchell Zuckoff, and I read The Library Book by Susan Orlean. And that was it. That was it. So I wanted to read 10. I read 5. Goal number 6 is to finish or catch up on some series. I'm not sure how that went. Oh, look at this. I just automatically opened up to that page. I did not even mean to. Okay, so let's figure this out. I did make some progress in some series. I actually started a couple of series, but I didn't finish them or catch up. But I have a couple on here. Okay, so I have the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. I read House of Flame and Shadow, so that finishes that as far as what's been published. I know that more is coming in that series, but that is what is currently available. I read Coyote Sunrise by Dan Guyman-Hart. I read the second book in that duology, and I did not enjoy it. That's a middle grade. So if any more come out in that series, I'm not going to read anymore. So I'm counting that as completed. I read The Guncle Abroad by Stephen Rowley, which is the second book in the Guncle series. That's all that's available now. So that was fun. I finished The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I read The Happy Ever After Playlist and Life's Too Short. So 2 books to catch up in that trilogy and finish it. I also read Part of Your World. The Just for the Summer was the Part of Your World trilogy as well. So I got that one done. So those 2 of her companion series I finished up. And then again, we're going back to Ashley Winstead because I read Fool Me Once and The Boyfriend Candidate. That counts as a duology. So I read those. And then I did read Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune, which is the second book in the House in the Cerulean Sea. Hopefully just duology because I didn't like that one either that much. So hopefully that'll be it. And then, like I said, I did start a couple of series and only read the first one. Didn't move on to book 2 yet. So I'm not counting those as finished or caught up because I just started them. But series is going to be a big focus for me next year. And I mean, like binging series is going to be a big focus for me next year. So I anticipate that one being much more successful in 2025. But I did get 7, so that's pretty good. Okay, last 2 were less reading, more social media type stuff. So goal number 7 was to post more often on Instagram. I think I did okay. Definitely in December, I wasn't posting my nightstand. You might have noticed that. Because I really kind of was feeling slumpy a little bit. And I just felt like I was posting the same thing over and over because I was just reading the same thing still because it was taking me forever to get through books. And I was just like, I don't want to post the same books again. So, I'm trying to decide moving forward if I'm going to do that weekly still, or maybe I go to every other week. Because I feel like if I'm reading longer books, it's going to take me longer to get through them. And I just don't want to keep posting the same things every single week. So those of you who see my posts on Instagram, my weekly What's on My Nightstand post, let me know if you want me to move to like every other week. I feel like if I just do it once a month, I would just be showing you my TBR and that would be it. So I don't know that that would be helpful at all. Yeah, or like how often do you want an update on what I'm reading? Maybe every time I switch books, possibly I could do a nightstand. So I don't know. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts down below, though. I would love to hear them. Okay, and then goal number 8 was to do more reading vlogs, which I definitely did. I really enjoyed vlogging this year. I had some collaborations that I did, which was a lot of fun. And I did some themed reading vlogs and I really enjoyed it. So that's definitely going to continue in 2025. I have lots more ideas for reading vlogs and some series that I'm going to do and stuff like that. So that will definitely be continuing on. All right, guys, those are how my goals ended up in 2024. I think they're pretty good. I mean, it is what it is, right? That's what happened. But yeah, so I do enjoy kind of going back and reflecting on these and seeing how I did and what was successful and what wasn't and why, because I think about that kind of stuff. And yeah, all good though. All right, so that was 2024. I'm very excited for 2025 and to start working on my reading goals moving forward for 2025. If you have not seen my reading goals for the upcoming year, I will leave that video link down below. And I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys again soon. Have a great day.